I've worked with a lot of leaders and managers on improving their team, their department, or company. And those improvements could have been around, financial performance, operational structure, sales growth, hiring, training, pretty much anything and everything related to their business. And to be honest, aside from helping an operationally oriented leader understanding the mentality and personality of a salesperson, working on vision tends to be one of the more challenging things. While to me, vision is exciting and fun, many see vision as this intangible, theoretical, almost mysterious thing. And a lot of times they don't think it matters that much. So if I ask you to recite your company's vision and tell me what it means and how it inspires you, what would you say? Some of you will have a pretty good idea, but you can't really explain it or how it inspires you. A few will be able to recite it quickly and tell exactly how it inspires them. The majority of you would stumble around and kind of talk your way through it, but you don't really know what it means and you don't really know how it inspires you. Look, a company's vision is intended to be a well thought out statement about where the company's going, who you are, what you do, and why you matter. And it should be important to everyone on the team. But in reality, it just isn't. Now, it's usually important to the top few in a company, but not to the majority. If you're a leader and you think your vision statement is important to everyone on the team or it truly inspires them to greatness, I'm going to say it probably doesn't. And if you don't believe me, I would say go ask three or four people or four or five people in your company to repeat the company's vision statement to you, what it means, and why it inspires them. And what you find when you go do that will tell you a lot about your employees' buy in to your vision, assuming the vision means that much to you as the leader. And I don't say that to be harsh or controversial, but it's just what I've seen most of the time. So, from a leadership perspective, what is a vision and why is it important? Basically, a vision statement or a vision lays out what the organization hopes to achieve in the long term, or you could look at it as the future state of the company, or it could be thought of as kind of an overarching goal. I typically think of it as kind of a what do you want to be when you grow up statement. Okay. While vision statements are extremely important, I've consistently observed that most employees are completely indifferent to formal vision statements for one simple reason. Usually the employees don't know what it is, and if for some reason they do know what it is, it doesn't mean anything to them personally. So if a vision is so important, why does this happen? Well, the reason is usually only the executive leadership team is involved with creating the vision. It's made in a little bit of a vacuum of a strategic planning session. It typically has more to do with shareholder value or public facing image than really employee engagement. And once it's complete, the leaders deliver it to the rest of the employees with excitement and passion, expecting them to immediately embrace it. The problem is it's the company's leadership vision, but it's not the team's vision. Vision statements should be inspiring to all employees, not just the few. And unfortunately, this is rarely the case. So, do you need to have a formal vision to be successful? Well, there are many small to mid sized companies without a formal vision who seem to do fine in business, right? I mean, their people and customers are happy, they have strong loyalty, and they stick around for a long time. While this may be true, if you look closer at these smaller companies, you'll typically find the owner has a vision of sorts in his head that guides his decisions. But it's usually incomplete and an informal vision. It's more of a general direction. And companies without any vision really aren't going anywhere in particular. They're just going somewhere. And while they might get to this somewhere, the point is they don't really know where that is. So while many companies don't have a formal vision, creating one is a great opportunity to align all employees and create something meaningful and inspiring to everyone. I mean, let's assume either your company doesn't have a vision today or you have an old one that needs to be updated. How would you start? Well, as you're thinking about this, remember, vision statements are not intended to be fixed indefinitely. So don't feel like you have to create some all-encompassing statement that's set in stone. You might have a 3 to 5 year vision that you'll revise at that time, or you may have a longer term vision. But the key here is to keep it relevant and meaningful. Now, look, there are tons of resources online on how to create a vision and how to go about doing it. But here are some practical ideas to keep in mind of what a meaningful vision should capture. And there's eight of these. First, it doesn't have to be grandiose or super impressive to the world, but it does have to be meaningful and inspiring to the leader and those on the team. It should state what the future looks like, and everyone can understand why that's important. It should be clear and easily understood. It should be something that guides your decisions today. You know, the decisions I make today are based on the vision I have for the future. It should be realistic and believable. It might be challenging, but people believe that it's attainable. It should be mutually desirable, meaning everyone understands the benefits, not just the owners or executive team or the company. It should be meaningful and inspiring to team members. They see how they fit into this vision and feel part of the greater cause. And the last one, it should be easy to communicate with anyone in less than a minute. If it takes you longer than a minute to recite your vision statement, then it's too long. So as you work through your vision statement creation, it's easy to only work with a small group of people. The problem is this leads you to creating a vision that only applies to those people, which is the problem you're trying to avoid. However, the more people you get involved in the vision creation process, the harder it is to arrive at something everyone can agree on. So here's what I've seen that works when starting to create your vision statement. Start with a smaller group and come up with an overall goal or idea, and then share that with the other employees and start asking for their feedback. Remember the video on we think versus they think. You need to ask them what they think. If you do this in a group setting where people can hear each other's ideas, it's more effective. However, keep in mind that there usually be a handful of people who won't contribute for whatever reason, and that's okay. At least they're involved. The key to remember is the final vision statement doesn't have to include everything from every person, but it does have to capture the spirit of as many people as possible. So 2 final thoughts on creating your vision statement, and this applies to really all your goals that you may establish. First, if people don't believe in the vision statement or aren't committed to putting their best efforts into achieving it, or it simply doesn't inspire them, then change it. And second, start. Don't wait. Just get started. Start working through it. Look, there are no hard rules on what you come up with. There's no time frame on when this has to be completed, and nothing says you have to do it this way or that way. You can take whatever time you need and use whatever methods work for you, as long as you land on something that captures the future state, is meaningful, and inspires as many people on your team as possible. The reality is, no matter what you do, you'll probably never get every person to 100% agree with what you come up with, but you can involve everyone to the degree they want to participate, and do your best to come up with something that as many people feel ownership as possible. They see the importance, they understand their role in achieving, and they feel a sense of inspiration. So thanks for watching today, and while I can't capture everything about creating your vision for your team or your company, I hope this at least inspires you to get started. If you're interested, maybe subscribe to my YouTube channel or follow me on LinkedIn. I post things regularly there as well. The links to both of those are below, and you can also check my book out on Amazon. So next time we're going to be starting a new series on human behavior and delve into some psychological aspects of people and how they apply not only to leadership, but also with each one of us as a person. Thanks again, and take care.